I'm Katie, and today I'm going to show you how to plant onions. I planted 3 kinds, a bunching green onion, a yellow onion, and a red onion. And the onions I chose that are bulb onions, the red and yellow, I chose them because they store really well, and I got all 3 kinds from Johnny's Seed. So now I'm planting some red onions called Red Wing from Johnny's. And there's 250 seeds in this packet, and I'm going to plant at least half of them, about a ½ inch apart in this little flat. And then it's mid-January right now, and you can put onions out in the garden a few weeks before your last frost date. So I'm going to just fill this with dirt that's pretty fine and doesn't have sticks or bark in it, so that the seeds don't have to compete with any bulky large things. And if you get any bulky things, just get rid of those. You don't want them in there. I'm going to just get it fairly flat to start with. And then I just use my finger to draw some little mini rows just to help me space out the seeds a little bit. But you could almost just scatter them in here as well. And from what I hear, onion seeds are only good for about a year, so it's worth it to me to just plant some extra. And then I'm just going to kind of flatten out these little hills and add a ½ inch of dirt onto the top. I found it works a lot better to not add a lot of dirt to the top of seeds, especially if they're small. Then I'll make sure I get my soil really wet. And make sure you label it. And today I'm planting 3 different kinds of onions, so it's important to make sure you label your seeds. That way, especially if some of them don't come up, you'll know what to try to plant some more of to get growing. And then adding the lid just really helps keep the moisture in so that your seeds will germinate. This is my setup for starting seedlings. This is how I get things started in the spring to be able to move outside when it's warm enough to transplant them. And today I just have my onions down here to start with. I found that there are 2 things that can really help when you're beginning to start seeds that made a big difference for me, and that is having a heat mat to keep your seeds warm. And I have 2 heat mats here, and they're set at 72 degrees. And then also to keep your seedlings covered. For many years I just used plastic wrap, and that definitely works, but last year I did invest in getting some of these plastic domes, and they're a lot easier to work with than plastic wrap. So I love using those. And I also have this high-powered LED light. I won't turn that on till I notice that the seedlings have come up. In the meantime, I'll come in every day and spray them with water once or twice a day to make sure that they stay damp but not soaking wet. And once the seedlings have emerged, I'll turn on this light and have it on a timer for 16 hours a day. Now, most lights you want to have be just a few inches off of your seedlings and move the light so that it stays a few inches away from the seedlings as they grow. But this is such a high-powered LED light that it has to be 16 to 18 inches above the seeds. And so if you'll just use some heat and something to keep the moisture in, like plastic wrap or a plastic dome, that'll really help you to get a high germination rate.